swap up from what we kind of had come to know for both 100 Thieves and for XSET, depending on what you want to focus on first.
Yeah, I mean, with XSET, this is kind of in line with the role changes they've made throughout the course of this stage. Like, Zekken has become the true duelist of this team, as Cryocells has really kind of found comfort in playing Chamber, which is very much the meta sniper pick these days. So that has really just kind of continued to play out. Whereas Aaron has continued to become more and more the main controller player on this team for a lot of maps, while Def has become more of that flex. So yeah, this is just kind of in line. It's their first time playing this map, this stage, so a big pivot from what we saw from them in stage 1. But again, it's kind of in line with what they've done with the rest of their map pool throughout, you know, the last few weeks.
One of the things we noticed when we had a chance to watch this 100 Thieves team and qualifiers was how much focus both on the offensive and defensive side of the spike they put through mid tunnels. And look at this little lurky play. 3 members already down through ropes. Aaron kind of sniffing out the play here. And whoa, hello!
Whoa. He was looking up high, and they were all down low. And 100 Thieves are snapping on this retake very rapidly right now. Def trying to fight them off at the door. Does get a couple. Zekken gets one as well. And Zekken may still have a little bit of a hope here in this 1 versus 2, but this cage is causing some obstruction from him, and now they face him together, and that is just well played from 100 Thieves through and through. Nice organized retake. All together at once.
It's interesting, you know, obviously the desk had brought up the fact that, you know, watching TSM and 100 Thieves play this map, it was a blowout during the first qualifier. But the second set of qualifiers, you and I actually casted this team on this map 2 games in a row. We watched them play New York Fury, and we watched them play a crew.
Right.
And their ability to just kind of surprise through tunnels was, I would say, probably the biggest moniker of where they found the success they did in both of those games.
Yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves, after that loss to TSM where they got blown out in that first qualifier, they came back with a vengeance, you know, winning the 2 games you mentioned, but also beating Knights and Sonic. So they've won their last 4 games on this map, and they've looked strong on both sides of the map. I mean, particularly their attacking sides have been 7 rounds or better, you know, near 70%. And so starting on defense and already getting a pistol and kind of getting that defense shored up is nice, because we know that their attack on Breeze with this lineup has been quite strong throughout the last, you know, several weeks coming up into this point. So with that said, though, XSET, a very strong Breeze team from stage 1. In fact, their only losses this whole year have been to Cloud9 and Cloud9 Academy. They've been tearing up everybody else, though. They have an 11-2 record, 85% win rate. So, you know, this is really a good battleground for these 2 teams, like where both should feel comfortable.
Yeah, the whole map set actually is kind of like that. Derek, Ares in hand, is only able to get 1 of 2 through elbow. Keep an eye on Aaron. He has deleted a cyber trap over through tube, so of course 100 Thieves will have to be very wary of that. But interestingly enough, Will's timing here is unbelievable. Has to still be careful with the second, and very well done. Will gets the 2, and that will put this to a 4v2 situation favoring 100 Thieves defense.
Yeah, they're looking really good right now. Looking to just kind of storm through the second round. Try to get that defense in lock. As one good thing about XSET is that, you know, even if they're getting a little bit of a slow start here, they are pretty equally strong on both sides of this map. They're over 60% on both attack and defense, so they don't really have a weak point. Feel comfort on both sides. But it means everything for 100 Thieves, I feel like, to get hot early in this matchup. I mean, we kind of heard it firsthand from Sean Garrett himself, you know, balancing the short-term success by coming up with cool strats and ways to win the game ahead of you versus trying to put in time to build up the foundation of the team, to build up the team play. And so I think a lot of time what you see is in situations like this one, where 100 Thieves get to be the ones taking the initiative and they're the ones kind of dictating the pace of the round. They thrive those situations. They have a lot of good, like, they have like a lot of good little set pieces for like defensive aggression, or just when they execute a site together as a team. It's really in the mid-round chaotic moments where things start to fall apart and you have to do things on the fly, where their short time together hasn't allowed them to build that chemistry yet, and that's where they can kind of get messed up a little bit. Whereas XSET, they have the chemistry in spades in those mid-round chaotic moments. Yeah, and that's where they will thrive. Yeah.
Yep. That's a good spotlight, I think, for the entirety of the series, as you mentioned, kind of piggybacking off of what the desk had said. Second, just walking forward into mid here. Interestingly enough, not a lot of assistance coming out of Derek's position through mid, so that'll lead to a numbers advantage early here for XSET. And they're still kind of just spreading the map at the moment. No real forward aggression anywhere, and it looks like there will be at least some sort of an idea to see what intel we can gather towards A as the spike starts to make its way that way.
And that's why I like Zekken on Jett on attack, because Jett now, in her current status, is a very good rifle entry still. You can kind of plan your tailwinds a little bit better as opposed to like being reactionary with the sniper or something like that, particularly on the defense. So I think it suits him really well. I think XSET have actually made a good pivot by putting him on that duelist and letting Proud Cells take up that chamber and kind of hold angles for them, while Zekken is kind of that trebuchet forward as they look to storm onto this A site with that toxic screen cover. Of course, they're already a man to the good from that initial skirmish out in the middle. Bang & Company still trying to hold on here on this bonus round, trying to make something happen, but XSET are finding all the trades.
Oh, but the kills from the back of the site, not bad. Does at least allow this to be contestable, especially with Bang playing forward, but Aaron's able to sniff it out, clearing the left-sided pillar, and with that, nothing that Derek could do besides just tap away with Marshall. So, XSET do deny the bonus, and we go into a full purchase round here for 100 Thieves, the first of its kind, and this is where we're really going to start to see what the mentality is going to be for both these two teams.
Yeah, and this is where I really think 100 Thieves are going to start getting tested. You know, 100 Thieves, again, really strong in the set pieces, but when the things start to break down, how do they manage those small little, you know, short-term team play where you don't have a whole lot of time to think? Because XSET, I think the two things that set them apart is they're very brawly and very successful at it, and they're very decisive. When they get that first strike, they have such a quick follow-up, and they're very comfortable in those, you know, very scrappy situations, I guess you could say. But look at this, Will taking some initiative here, trying to take the Blade Storm through long, try to be a little bit aggressive. He's got support as well. He's not alone. It's awesome to catch his Cryo Cells, trying to get him behind.
That's a big opening pick, but Zekken is starting to make his way forward. We'll have to try to do something with this trap wire if there were to be any further play, but a lot of sound cues going to be held by this position. And this is good information for XSET to try to work this back.
The timing here is very crucial.
Very, very tight.
Yeah, Zekken able to stay safe. He's also able to trip the door, try to create a little bit of pressure over towards A side. And meanwhile, the bulk of the attack is coming into B. But to be honest, 100 Thieves have the read. They still have two players playing the back post here, just kind of waiting this out, being patient. They're also now starting to get a rotation right now from Will with that Blade Storm. So 100 Thieves on the mark right now as far as reads. Can they just get the fights to go their way?
Sure seems to be, Dust. 2 for 1 the exchange. Will, a little jump peek over the corner. It was a nice idea for XSET. Try to keep the defense planted over through mid. Hope that you can get an odd man situation on the B site. But as you had started to ask the question, the answer came through very swiftly about 100 Thieves' resiliency defensively. And now it is just down to Zekken for a 1v4. No spike in hand, no time. And you would figure there'd be, well, maybe an opportunity for him to go find 1v1 for the opener, but that will be all. So 100 Thieves do take the first full gun round and take their lead back up by 2.
Yeah, again, I like that 100 Thieves are taking initiative in these early round situations. They're the one calling the shots on some of these initial pushes, and so therefore they can play out a game plan, you know, that they have orchestrated. I mean, again, that is their strength, you know, the combination, the brain trust, I guess you could say, of Sean Garrett's Mikes and Stellar allows them to kind of create some of these little kind of set pieces, so to speak, and that's where they can really drill down their strengths and not really allow XSET to get flowing. Because if XSET can break you early in a round and get going, the momentum that they bring, again, the brawly nature that they have, they're so good in the pocket in those trades. Yeah. If you can kind of disrupt that, that's how 100 Thieves can have a good half here.
Here we go, very quickly, Zekken on the way in, goes for the right click, misses, and Stellar will punish. The null command was a part of the equation, but that's immediately taken away. 100 Thieves' defense is handling this brilliantly. And all of a sudden for XSET, you're kind of stuck in the choke point of this cave entryway. Spike does get planted, the Viper's been able to guard, but the numbers just are not good. It's just Aaron left in a 1v3 situation. Hugging a corner, Aldrome looking to search him out, but does not actually find him. So Aaron is able to turn that into an easy elimination. Tags from Derek brings him down to 5 HP, and the final bullet will land. 100 Thieves. Heck of a response to the quick gut check call from XSET.
Yeah, again, I mean, we haven't gotten to see a whole lot of their defensive side recently. When they played against New York Fury and Accru, they had, you know, 9+ attack rounds, and so they didn't really have to play much defense. I mean, Accru, they just won pistol, and that was it. So we haven't really gotten to see them play a whole heck of a lot of gun rounds defensively, other than maybe that Sonics match where they started defense first half there in the second qualifier and got 8 rounds and, you know, helped them get to this point here and be a part of the main stage. But you know, so far, you know, they've been able to kind of play all facets of defense. They've been able to get aggressive, get opening picks, and fall back. They've been able to just kind of hold the line and win in some of these exchanges. And XSET really haven't been able to get rolling. Again, what their strength has normally been is how assertive they've been able to get, how they're able to trade frag, but they're losing so many fights.
And once again, 100 Thieves able to enable Will to get forward over towards caves. This is going to be a major problem for XSET. You have to flush this position out. Recon bolt will come through. Will's able to avoid that, but does get tagged up heavily. Now he's kind of stuck. Oh boy. Cloudburst trying to get him away and very narrowly is able to escape, but only narrowly.
Def, though, gets a forward angle here in Halls and does spot Stellar over towards defensive spawn. So he can kind of create presence here at A Halls and force attention, which could unlock the pathway into A through K is a little bit easier, but no, never mind. Def gets caught by Derek, and so that's going to really put the pressure now on individual efforts from these players coming out of K's. They still have a lurk out in middle. It's going to be Aaron, who's trying to see if he can still maybe poke and prod over towards B side, but now going to come up to the doors and try to help split this A side. He is required to help entry now at this point, but again, 100 of these have a great defense in place, but that's, like you said, a huge catch there from BCJ.
Austin is now essentially stuck on towards site, but, well, we know what he can do in these individual moments. Derek now coming back forward, does have Hunter's Fury if required. Cryo holding the angle, misses the opening shot. Austin is still alive. No more utility, but Derek's presence has been felt. Nice shock dart comes through. That'll tag up a little bit more of as soon as low HP. And the Marshals are getting a lot of damage in here for XSET. The problem is there's just no time.
Right, and
you got to move forward. You got to move forward now. And BCJ will actually take another elimination. Nearly gets a chance at the Stellar. Pistols out. The kills are decent. Bang on the long range! Oh, Second was able to see him, but the clock will expire, and that will be the savior that 100 Thieves need to get to 5.
I have to say, like, this is a good sign for 100 Thieves. You're starting to see them look more polished in these more chaotic situations. I think one of the things that we kind of noticed against TSM last week, particularly that Haven game, when they were having wild things thrown at them, it's stuff that they hadn't really seen before. And that, I don't know if we featured that clip from Doug's interview with Sean, but you know, I know one of the things that Sean mentioned is like a lot of the things that they're struggling with is, you know, facing situations they've never seen before in practice because they've had such limited time together with this roster. Again, it came together, what, a month ago? You know, that doesn't leave a whole lot of time to build protocols to, you know, handle all the different factors that you may come across in a match. But what you've seen here so far in this half is, A, 100 Thieves are doing a great job taking initiative early and getting picks and disturbing XSET, not letting them get comfortable, not letting them get map control to launch from. But 2, they're also handling some of these scrappy affairs on site.
Absolutely.
And staying one step ahead. Like, yeah, they might bleed out a couple of members here and there, but they never look like they're out of the round. They always seem to have at least one additional player compared to the opposition on XSET. And that's fantastic. I mean, that if they can continue to polish that part of their game, they will be one of the powerhouses in the region.
Solid call. I mean, the thing, too, is, you know, we kind of had a front row seat because we watched this team in the first week of qualifiers and then immediately into the second, and we were kind of both kind of eyes peeled when it came down to how fast the improvements came from one week to the other, in particular through situations like that. So, yeah,
and here's the thing.
Creditable.
They don't have a core. That's the thing. Coming into this, they're starting to build that, but they were the one team that did not have that because of how drastic the roster changes really were, as well as the coaching staff and management. So you're basically building from nothing at that point. So to see them within a month, you know, already have a win to their name, and now they're challenging XSET really strong here so far. I mean, these are good signs, but can they keep it up? Is the question. XSET back onto a full buy. Look in the challenge middle.
Unique look here, too, through mid. Austin ready to help Will if needed. XSET taking just little side steps here and there. Austin gets the opener, expects the second dashes away, and who's ready for it? It's Will.
That was great.
Beautiful setup through mid. XSET already now committed over towards A. Defensively, Austin has already made his way back in through double doors, but XSET does well to at least get a couple of trades, allowing them a chance to actually get the spike possibly planted.
Yeah, good bait switch out in mid early from 100 Thieves, but now XSET responding kind with just a sweep through the A site. And they have a 2-on-2 situation right now as Austin is down with no chance of revival. Aaron holding this door situation. Bang able to get that one, though, and that's going to get him into a 2v1. It's up to BCJ now to clutch. He's got Spike down. He's able to back up over towards K's, but he's got low health.
Takes the gunfight, sees the opener. Okay, hold on a second. There's a ton of utility here for BCJ. Recon Bolt comes out. It's going to reveal. Wants to spam through the brickwork, but then decides, I've got 2 shock darts and a Hunter's Fury. I can delay this for an eternity. First dart goes down. Bang is at 43 HP. One solid connection from either of these last 2 pieces of utility could single-handedly win the round. BCJ now trusting that the ult will come through. Delays the first time. Throws out the second. Not sure about it. There's the third. Bang right back on towards the defuse. The toxic screen's in a position to allow him to save it. Where's the shock dart? There it is. That will find the kill. And there, well, as you mentioned, not a lot of time either to confirm that defuse. XSET get the clutch out of BCJ.
And again, I love seeing this out of BGZ from XSET. Again, I feel like towards the end of last stage, you started to see his form kind of dip a little bit. He wasn't the same top-level Sova that you would compare to like a Crashies and some of these other guys that are in the region. But this stage, he has come back with a vengeance. He has looked so strong. He played out this clutch to perfection with decision-making. And you're seeing the fragging come back, and you're seeing that same wit he's always had. You know, where he's able to make just good choices in the heat of the moment and be that support factor when he's required, but also be a heavy lifter when it comes to fragging. That's what makes his team so complete.
Ooh, quick hit here from Will. Good support over the top as there was a recon dart and a little bit of utility from Asuna being sent to try to figure out what was coming through. And XSET say, well, if you're going to triple stack mid, we're going to full flood over towards B. This will leave Bang by himself with a Sheriff. Help is on the way, but it is going to be very late. Derek on the way in has an owl drone to try to scout things out, but it does not expect Zekin being as far forward as he was. Good trades come through here, though, Dustin. 100 Thieves can actually move quickly now that they've got Will and a rifle.
Yeah, Neural Death going to give them some exact information as well as with these post-fight positions. Look at this, 100 Thieves are starting to sweep through. It's all on Def right now. While there's a couple low health targets out in front of him, he cannot find them quick enough as this is impressive from 100 Thieves. They win a thrifty. And again, they're outclassing XSET in the strength of their game. These chaotic moments on sites where you get scrappy, you have to win trades. That's where XSET usually thrive. That's where they've been beating teams left, right, and center throughout the first couple of weeks of this stage. But 100 Thieves are coming in swinging on an eco and coming out on top. I mean, that's a dangerous sign for, you know, if you're an XSET fan right now, if 100 Thieves are doing that to them.
Absolutely. The thing about it was the read from XSET was actually really well done.
Yes.
You get the information that, okay, they've got a lot of their early intel gathering information through mid. It's a 3-man stack there. Let's go full flood. They never find Bang. It's the only player that's on site. They never find him.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Seems like Bang is getting more and more comfortable being that anchor player on this B side. I know that I think DDK in an interview kind of talked about how they've had extra time with Bang after practice because he felt like he wasn't having enough impact as a controller. So they've kind of worked with him to kind of help him figure out how to anchor these things better, try to, you know, be that staple of the team. And, you know, that was obviously a big round there.
Toxin screen down.
Well, back to pistols and marshals for XSET. A good secondary ping allows 100 Thieves to use the information to get mid in their control. But you do have XSET already on site, technically speaking. Stellar's playing this much more reserved. Seems to be a cognitive decision as the rest of the
don't want to cough up another thrifty.
That's for sure.
Def trying to engage the backline a little bit there through A-Halls. Is kind of swatted away. Meanwhile, Will on site with a big double.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, and even gets a couple of tags on to Zekin, last player left. Look at Prime Gaming flawless. It's Will and Asuna that do the majority of the lifting in 100 Thieves. This defensive half, as you'd mentioned, we didn't get a chance to see them do a lot playing from the defensive side of the spike, but my goodness, they're putting on a display here.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you kind of look at last stage, and I feel like XSET were regularly able to pop off 7-0 rounds on the attacking side. You know, you look at their 2 matches against Luminosity between the groups and the playoffs, and they were getting 9 and 8 rounds on the attacking half of the first half of those games. And then, you know, when they played the old 100 Thieves, yeah, they found 7 in the opening group stage game that they played on this map. Same with Evil Geniuses. They found 7 on the attack, but they are getting halted right now by a very strong 100 Thieves defense.
Well, this is a big round here. XSET really honestly need this one here. And it's going to be Zekin moving forward. Again, this trapwire has really been the only defensive kind of utility holding 100 Thieves position through mid unless they decide to get aggressive, but that really has only been on eco rounds.
Yeah, they've been able to kind of pressure these A-Halls a couple of times, XSET, but they haven't been able to do much with it, honestly. Like, they haven't been able to open the door and actually split the site or really disturb the back line. They've mostly just kind of pulled attention, but 100 Thieves have managed it very well off the back of this utility from Stellar. And just generally speaking, have had, you know, all their eyes dotted and T's crossed. Like, you know, everything seems to be a well-oiled machine right now for 100 Thieves, and XSET have yet to really find something that they can expose. There's really been no chink in the armor. An open A site, sure, but that's calculated. 100 Thieves are willing to play the retake if they need to focus up on A-Halls and middle. Here comes that null command to try to push XSET forward. They're trying to come through with the flash there, but Will somehow stays hidden and gets the first frag.
Oh, that is detrimental to XSET. Once again, they cannot split this side up. Def has to continue to play forward. Derek looking to challenge, and he gets the trade. Spike planted. Viper's Pit in play. 100 Thieves looking to hit this retake. Still need to clear the back of the site, let alone the front boxes in this Viper's Pit. They do the first, no problem. Flash is coming through. Austin is able to catch out Cryo. Well done there, and now the utility starts to just rain on into this Viper's pit.
Lord.
I mean, what do you do about that?
100 Thieves are just on one right now, man. Such a well-tuned retake. You can just see that things are coming together as each week of practice passes. Again, they've always had really strong little set pieces on the attacking side, but now you're seeing this defense really start popping. Whether it's retakes, whether it's taking initial peaks, or whether it's how they weathered the storm of A-Halls. Like, XSET were throwing a lot of utility to try to push into A-Halls and to try to get Zekin to disturb that backline and open up another route onto A as they were pushing K's at Viper's Pit so they could have a multi-angle approach to A. But 100 Thieves come out on top. They trade 2 for 1 in those halls. Will gets the first kill on the Zekin. And, I mean, that just kind of blew up half that attack and gave them a man advantage for the retake.
Well, now we're starting to talk about must-win rounds for XSET.
Sure.
No longer are we dealing with nice-to-have rounds. This is a must-win.
This might be their worst attacking half I've ever seen on Breeze.
Yeah.
As far as just the amount of rounds gained.
Fair assessment. Opening pick is good, but it's traded back. We'll go 4v4. Big fight over the middle, and Cryo just off the mark. So now numbers once again to 100 Thieves. They're established that, yeah, the threat is towards A. And for maybe the first time, we'll see a play off the flank here. So you look towards Zekin. He's going to have to respond to this. And what is that from Asuna?
Oh my God, he's so good at the game. Just a gamer.
Just better.
Dude, 100 Thieves are destroying. I mean, yeah, this would be tied for their second worst, or their worst attacking half on Breeze. They only had 2 rounds against Cloud9 last stage in the groups. I believe it was week 2. They only got 2 on the attacking side in the second half. And then prior to that, their first time, this would be their worst attacking half starting on attack, because they got 5 attacking rounds was their worst prior against Knights. That was in Nerd Street Winter Series. So, yeah, this would be a pretty big blow to what XSET are used to on this attacking side. Normally a very strong attacking team on Breeze all throughout last stage.
Forward knife actually catches a lot of information here for 100 Thieves. Very quickly, XSET will be mindful of what they just gave away and just decide to, okay, no need to panic. Let's not force the square peg into the round hole. Hunter Sphere can be earned with that orb for BCJ, and Stellar on that intel has already taken over caves. There's just no room for XSET to work with at all.
Yeah, they're taking middle, and they might bypass this pinch because they could go through door. There is a trip there, so 100 of these will be alerted to it, but there still is a little bit of a gap that XSET might be able to exploit. They get a pick out over towards middle, and yeah, they're going to get into A through doors. Will trying to cover that coming in right now at middle, but he might get blindsided here shortly as he tries to fight Cryo on side. He's not aware of Aaron, who's just around the corner, and Aaron plays his cards right here, gets bang, still has to worry about another, though.
Oh, good help.
But Zekin helps him out.
Great assistance from Zekin to alleviate the site, come back over to it. Now you know that Stellar was playing outside the site. He's got to come back into this. It would be a 1v4. And no, Zekin just all over the map. Well done from him. So 9-3 the half. Not good news still, though, for XSET on their map selection. We'll swap the sides, come back after the 2-minute break. 9-3 half. Defensive dominance for 100 Thieves. We'll see if that can get the XSET dander up a bit. And, well, it needs to come through here on the pistol, you would feel like, Dust. And, well, let's see.
Yeah, this is a big moment for XSET. Definitely, again, a team that can play a strong defense. They've played plenty of 7+ round defenses in the past. So they've definitely shown that they have a good approach to both sides of this map. But 100 Thieves off to such a hot start. And attacking side's been their stronger side by a good margin.
Yeah. Well, here we go. 100 Thieves already taking some chip damage through mid, and Zekin will finish the job off on Derek. So good first blood collected. 100 Thieves again trying to establish some A-Hall's control early, but honestly, the spike is still looking towards B. And I think Will actually did just catch the little bit of pixels of Cryo in the back of the site. So there goes the call to make their way forward, and Bang still puts the threat over to Halls at the same moment. Good response on the opposite side, though. Cryo able to keep this level. Now to a 4v3, but the spike will be planted.
Solo on health now. Bang's making a backstab through A-Halls. If he catches the right timing here, this could be devastating for XSET. I think they have an idea, though, but if he still wins this fight, it won't matter. Nope, never mind. Zekin catches it, and that's big for XSET. They have a 4-on-2 now. Helps cover for Cryo's low health.
Will, though, gets the opener. Has to reload off. Saw Cryo on the corner. There's the opportunity, and oh goodness, Zekin's going to dash back away. This is possible. This is still very doable. Def is coming through tunnel. They see the utility come out. Stellar's in a corner. He's going to get the first, and now Will. It's just down to the 1v1 with the Jet, and how about it? 100 Thieves hold, splitting the site.
Oh my god, dude. How did they keep doing it? I thought when they caught the flank and they had the 4-on-2, I figured surely this is their moment. But look at Will. Look at Will just teeing off. I thought he almost hit this shot Link. I think he did do the damage. Just didn't get the frag. That would have been ludicrous, but he still had so much impact. I mean, they just look unstoppable right now.
Yeah. Wow. Unbelievable. 2v4 with pistols. Granted that they're low health, but still.
Will was just absolute maniac that round. That's all there really is to it.
Another elbow stack here from 100 Thieves. Def looking maybe to contest. Wouldn't have any help to defend the B side if he would to do this. Still feeling frisky enough about it, as 100 Thieves will just take the vacant site and get the spike planted very quickly.
Yeah, 100 Thieves not wasting much time trying to pick up the... Oh! See you later, Def. Nice try. Nice try. You have to applaud the effort. Almost picked him up, but Derek's a little too quick to react. As Stellar's going to pick up the mid flank here from Zekin, and this round goes about the way you'd expect. I mean, I think people will look at this the wrong way. It's not that XSET are a bad team. Not by any means. It's just 100 of these are playing so well, they're making XSET look ordinary.
Unbelievable.
I mean, they just have everything covered. And sure, you could say 100 XSET have probably made some errors along the game. Obviously, losing a 4-on-2 retake is probably something that should never happen in the pistol round for you. But
naturally.
But 100 Thieves are still just looking so impressive today, and I don't want to take away from that point.
No. Yeah, there have been some moments, and I think if we were really nitpicking, there's a couple of missed opportunities. I think you go back to that Asuna 3K, like that was a 1v1 that Cryo should have won, I think, in a lot of people's minds.
I think all the A-Halls interactions were misses for XSET as well in the first half.
That's where I was going to go next, is this map control just has not been in XSET's control a single time. Like, time of possession has just been all 100 Thieves. This moment here, though, for XSET's defense, a little bit of a contain over through the middle of the map.
Sure.
And that will turn that into a Derek 1v4 just like that.
Yeah, this is going to be probably out of reach. Def might be low on health, but there's two very healthy players, and he's getting flanked. And yeah, that's going to do it. XSET at least able to cash in, not allow 100 of these to pull off a bonus. And that's basically for survival more than anything.
Yeah, for real.
Just keeps you in the hunt. But still a lot that needs to be checked off before they can really start to threaten this lead from 100 Thieves. Full buy versus full buy coming up. Will does have Blade Storm. Has it available? All that's the only one on the table right now.
You have to start turning the tides right here if you're XSET when it comes to control of the map. Has to be map control.
Yeah, they got to do something, man. You can't let 100 Thieves get the map point in the opening gun round with 8 rounds to spare. I mean, there's no coming back from that, probably. Not the way 100 Thieves have been playing. So, yeah, this is their moment.
An early knife, a very forward defensive wall.
Yeah, very forward.
Take flight.
And 100 Thieves are going to just really only be able to use the middle of the map at the moment. Aldrone is going to be sent just to make sure there is an opportunity to use double doors if needed. Will's just running through middle with this poison cloud kind of guarding the mid-plat.
And this aggressive toxic screen is allowing XSET to focus much more on doors.
Absolutely.
And just much more on A-Halls and not really worry too much about Ks. And I mean, 100 Thieves aren't really playing for it anyway. They just have utility there to watch for flanks to make sure they're not getting pushed from behind. Their focus is truly this B split, trying to work up mid, trying to work through main. Will kind of leading the way through the link, is going to make it in with the Blade Storm. They're starting to clear out some of this space.
Oh, they have no idea. No idea.
No clue.
No one was even looking towards mid-map whatsoever, and Will is just teeing off. Two down as 100 Thieves gracefully make their way in towards site. Derek with the plant. Shock Dart will land to get some damage done, but how do you break this again? You don't have any intel gathering tools. All you have is one more Shock Dart here for your XSET. You've got to do this the old-fashioned way. They do have at least a little bit of cover off of the toxic screen to get in towards site, but the problem is how do you break through this position that Will is in? And the answer is you just don't.
No. 100 Thieves are just pedal to the metal all the way to the finishing line. BCJ trying to pull off a miracle here from the backside, but Will just dances around with the blades and gets the hat trick. secure a map point for 100 Ds, and that is a big miss from XSET. If you're not playing any K's presence whatsoever because you have the Viper utility you're confident in and you're keeping tabs on door the way that they were, you cannot allow someone to slip up Link to be unnoticed like this. I mean,
Yeah, no one's
Def should at
watching it.
least have an idea that he needs to be checking that as he comes to the toxic screen. He had literally no clue, and that just must be some type of breakdown in communication or thinking that something's covered when it's not, and that is a big miss from XSET. It's a gap that, even if it's there, you should at least know about it, and Def had no clue.
100%. Well, it's going to be an early Viper's Pit here from Aaron. Using that to block off the cave entryway. I'm sure that they're looking desperately to try to get Zekken the blades here as he's one away and just on a Sheriff. But with the quick threat from 100 Thieves, this time for the first point through A Halls. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh, BCJ actually stays alive through this. Hold on a second. BCJ still up, but bang from the front is good for 4, I guess.
Give him the ace. Just give it to him. No, Derek says no.
Well, he's already dead, but...
I mean...
What?
Bruh.
That's 4 through the Viper Pit. He just walks through it.
Bro, they